Weightlifting should be kept general, not specific. 15 to 20 minutes, as Charlie Francis talking. Specific training should be entirely specific, and general training should be general. When you're talking about specific training, sprinting is very specific. If you want to get faster, you must sprint. Everybody wants to plant beans and grow corn. I'm starting to understand that concept? Like everybody wants to do this to get that. What I'm saying is, you got to be specific in your sprint training. The way I see the weight room is to be general. But I see sprinting as being specific. This is what Charlie's talking about. We'll talk more about some other things in a minute. Most sprinters are unmade rather than made due to inappropriate training during their initial development. This is probably a good reason to keep your kids out of soccer. I mean, it's very possible that signing them up for soccer and having them, do nothing but, like slow running for 10 years will not do a whole lot for their speed development. So, the good news is you don't have to sprint that often, a couple times a week. That's the good news. High volumes result in the transition of transitional fiber. Okay, we have 3 types of fiber. I'm oversimplifying, but we have slow twitch, fast twitch, and the transitional type that could be pushed either way. If you do slow running and weight training, you're going to turn them all red. I love kids that come to me as a blank canvas. I love kids that have never been in sports before, and they come to me. They tend to be high responders. They grow quickly, and I think it's because these transitional fibers get turned white. Remember that football coaches and stuff get aroused. They want to be that guy pulling the sled and everything. Pulling that sled will not make you faster, though. Yes, hard work, cold, all that stuff, but it won't make you faster. Everybody, I think this is an actual poster. No one ever got better by practicing less. We love that stuff. It's the American way, the Protestant work ethic, all that kind of stuff. And maybe for a quarterback, a skilled person, maybe more volume is beneficial because it doesn't tire them out and all that stuff. But I know that for sprinters, tired is the enemy. Do less, achieve more. You've heard of Occam's razor. This guy must have been pretty smart back, like 700 years ago. He said, what can be done with fewer is done in vain with more. This goes out to every coach out there. Like people say, you only run 3 10-meter flies? Like, then what do? Well, we go home. It's like, why don't you do like 12 or 30? Or what? A lot of people like that auto-reg stuff, where why don't you keep doing it until their times start to decline? Well, I refer them to this. What we can do with fewer is good. The grind makes it difficult to train your most explosive fibers. This comes from McCaffrey. I like this. Michael Boyle, I mentioned this earlier, but this is cool stuff. Michael Boyle read my 10 sprint facts I wish everybody knew. And I definitely went like rabbit hunting with a buffalo gun, when I wrote it. It was over the top about how stupid it is to get great big when you're trying to get fast. But he loved it, and he brought me out to Boston. I've talked to his people. Probably the hardest crowd I've ever talked to, because they didn't relate to the things I was saying. But Michael has changed his stuff where they do speed train twice a week now. And they don't have a very big run-in. Most people don't have enough space to do it right. He runs in 25 into a 10. No, 15 into a 10. I hate to tell him, but you're never getting to top speed. If you're only having a 15-yard run-in, you're never getting to top speed. You're getting close. It's better than jogging. It's better than doing nothing. You would much rather get outside, have a big run-in, get to top speed. But at least he's on the right track. Football coaches should like me. When I first got to Plainfield North, it was a new school. We only had freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. We had 3 kids under 460 in the 40. The next year we had 8. The next year we had 12. And then we had 24. Then our school split, so we went down, and now we're back. In 2017 was our high water mark, 32 kids under 460 in the 40. This is really good for football culture, to have a lot of speed. By the way, we played for the state championship in 2017. Got beat 26-13 by East St. Louis, ranked number 9 in the nation that year. And yeah, team speed is an awesome, awesome thing. And I just can't imagine a team spending all winter in the weight room and not trying to grow this. I mean, for one thing, this is so much fun. Go out and do your speed drills, time them 3 times. So much fun. We do have things like this happening. I was a freshman football coach. We were 9-0 this year. Matter of fact, we were 9-0 5 years in a row. And this kid played B games. We had an A game at 8:30 in the morning, and then we had a B game after that. 4 quarters. This kid never carried the ball one time for our A team. Not one time. But his dad had been a track athlete, made him go out for track. He was obviously this is really, really slow. This is like a 15-second, 100 meters. And he was terrible. He's my worst sprinter on the team, all that stuff. But he got progressively faster. He was a blank canvas, high responder, and he got faster every year. And he ended up being our good running back on the team that got second in the state. And now he had a great year last year for UNI. So really good player. Those are really good times. And for every kid I have like Marcellus who came in fast and left fast, there's a kid like this that really improved. I don't know if this would have happened. People say, doesn't everybody get faster through their high school career? No, I've done so much data. Even kids that are training sometimes don't get faster. They just don't. Sprinting is more neurological than muscular. This is hard for meatheads to understand. When they see these 3 guys, they say, holy shit, this is why you gotta get in the weight room. This is it. I say, holy shit, those big guys can move. These guys are movers. And I also know, I coach this guy here, and I know he didn't ever lift weights ever in his life. That there is something to be said about natural strength. I know this hurts hard. I mean, this hurts. But natural strength is more powerful than artificial strength. If you try to make a skinny kid into this guy right here who happened to, in our conference, he won the 100, the 200, the shot, and the disc. Okay, he's one of those guys. Oh, he played in the NFL. So anyway, if you try to make a skinny kid into that guy, he will not move as naturally. He'll be clunkier. It's just the way it is. Now, I'm not telling you not to lift. I'm just saying things like size never creates speed. And you say, well, shit, that's a bodybuilder. I do functional strength training. Very good. Then why do you have mirrors? Why do you have mirrors in your weight room? I mean, I'm telling you, kids like to lift weights to look good. I mean, it's just a fact. It just happens. But this guy, the only thing I know about this guy is that he's slow. I'm serious. I mean, like, it's possible that a 60-year-old man might beat him in a race. Craig James is an interesting guy. He was one of my son's great hurdlers. My son has had several great hurdlers. And he's in the white and orange here. State champion right here. This guy, actually they both went to the University of Minnesota. Craig ended up transferring to SIU. And Craig is now in the NFL. Craig is with the Eagles. And he was a terrific athlete. He was on their state champion 4x1 as well. And 2 days ago, Alex sent me this. This is interesting stuff. Craig was talking to a 205-pound great linebacker for Edwardsville, senior. Great linebacker, 205 pounds. And this guy had just run a 1 flat in the 10-meter fly. I mean, 1 flat is moving, especially for 205. And Craig said, the best piece of advice I can give you is don't let them take away your speed. As soon as you get there, they will try to get you to pack on the weight and live in the weight room. My biggest mistake was living in the weight room and not sprinting. Powerful stuff. And he said, I have never been as fast as I was in high school. You know how scary that is for an NFL defensive back? Oh, and guess what the 205-pound linebacker said? Yeah, they already told me they want me to pack on 20. They've already told him that their number one goal for him freshman year is to turn him into a 225-pounder. It's just the facts.
So in Brad's talk, he talked about how his fast running back is up to 200.
Yes.
Brad would like him at 190 for track season.
Yep.
But his thrilled he's going to be 200 for football season. And
Yep.
the kid looks at it that way too. So how do you marry the two together?
Keep sprinting.
No.
That's a great question. And I coach a kid named Braden Jones who was a 23-4 long jumper, ran 48.8 in the 400, and was super fast. He has a slide in here, matter of fact, I just remember. But anyway, I consulted some people because he was getting big his senior year. He weighed 210, 6'3", 210. I said, and he was lifting hard. Is there such thing as getting too strong? And somebody, I can't remember who it was, I think it was my uncle, Kelly Kane, who was a coach at Monmouth College for several years. He said, as long as he's sprinting along with it, he's fine. And I kind of go there too. I think that sprinting it kind of counteracts all the negative things that can come from the weight room. That's kind of a dark view of the weight room, I know, but the sprinting counteracts all of the bad things happen. So as long as Brad Dixon keeps his guy sprinting, which he will, he'll be a fast 200-pounder. Now, he's also right that he'll be faster at 190, track-wise. But you do have to get big as a football player, right? You do have to build armor and all that kind of stuff. Yes, but as long as you keep sprinting him, the problem I have is that the average S&C coach will not sprint their guys. They will not sprint them. Why? Time. It's not really that much time. I think they're afraid of injury. And that's why they get hurt, is because they don't sprint enough. If you ever sprint and then you sprint in games, it's called NFL. Craig also said this, I'm training nothing but speed this off season. Ooh, now you're talking. I like this. We're getting it.